Hey, hi, hello. You're listening to UW Comedy Hour on Rainy Dog Radio. UW Comedy Hour airs every Saturday at 9 a.m., available at rainydawg.org. If you can't listen in at 9, go to UW Comedy Club's YouTube channel to see older radio episodes and full performances from members. To hear more, you can follow Rainy Dog on Instagram at rainydawgdog. UW Comedy Club is the best and only stand-up comedy club at UW. To hear more from us, including performer highlights, show schedules, and meeting info, follow us on Instagram at UW Comedy Club. We have meetings in Savory Hall, room 136, every Wednesday at 6:30, and there is absolutely no experience required. So lick a battery, feel more like a god than ever before, and come on down. Today in the Not Studio, we have my personal favorite equine educator, Evan.
I'm never going to live that down, am I?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, no, Levi was originally our horsefucker comedian, and he just passed the torch to you.
I've never
My
met the
dearest
lad.
Evan.
Aw, shucks.
One day you will.
Pass it on.
Don't let me tarnish his name like that, because I don't have to anymore, because you've taken the torch.
I'll take that burden for poor Levi. The whipping boy.
There always has to be one. You know, in a crew, you got the funny guy, you got the smart guy, you got contortionist, and you got the horse fucker. Classic heist movie.
Sounds like the name of my uncle. I gotta be careful. Actually, honestly, I did have Wakajaw. I'm pretty sure someone was Wolfgang, but there was a hyphen between the wolf and the gang.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, Native Americans, weird naming conventions sometimes. Either the first name is weird or the last name is weird.
Fuck yeah.
But yes, I will take that mantle. No.
I'm enamored by the idea of just a name like Wolfgang.
It's
nothing else.
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
I'm trying to remember other ones. There was Kills on Top was a last name.
Yeah.
Big Fire, Elk Shoulder. Typically the northern tribes have words after words. The joke is the first thing you see after, it's the first thing your parents see after you're born. they name it after, they name you after that. It's so that's why I'm called Two Dogs Fucking or something.
That's why I'm clipboard mug of old coffee.
Racial injustice.
It's so funny.
Oh, God, I love those conventions.
How'd you start doing comedy, Evan?
How did I start doing comedy? That's a good question. I think I've always been kind of a little funny lad. I guess the most constructed one was UTS Improv my freshman year. But even before that, I was in what a lot of people might not know is forensics in high school.
Like crime?
No, I hate everything. God, it always comes back to forensics.
Okay, but can you blame me because it's the word forensics?
I know, I can't. But it's so awkward because technically, based on forensics is a word that comes from the Latin word fornicis, which means open debate and public discussion. So, and then I guess the fucking cops came along and ruined another thing of mine. So.
So I'm hearing is the cops are using it wrong. ACAB. Gotcha.
ACAB every day. But forensics is basically just speech and debate in high school.
Okay.
And it's a lot of different. I did speech only. I can't do debate. Debate, it was too structured.
I don't like arguing.
Oh, I love arguing, but I'm a big contrarian.
Let me rephrase that. I like arguing, but in a fun cheated out to the audience arguing about is my music taste bad, or does the third Hunger movies exist or not? Hunger Game movies exist or not? But I don't enjoy conflict.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. I get that, but so in that there is a bunch of different speech formats I took up. I did impromptu, which was getting a random topic and make a speech on it in 7 minutes. And
impromptu is improv's older brother who drinks.
The more mature, quote unquote, brother.
I don't do improv. I do impromptu.
And then all the improv kids beat that one up.
Oh yeah, no, you kick the shit out of that kid. Losing a tooth.
God,
a tooth.
It's the lack of the V that makes it seem less cool.
Yeah, look, cool letters. We can all agree on this. The V the Z, the Q,
So,
W maybe. Am I
maybe.
biased because I'm Isabella with a Z and I have to live under that? Definitely.
A little bit.
The Y, names that end in H. Yes.
Hell yeah. Do I
Like if
have
you
that?
have the
No.
opportunity to end it with an H, do that. It's a great structural looking letter. I have
Zach.
weirdly strong opinions about this.
They need. I think my friends recently like did a letter tier list. So I'm like, I'm just. It's so funny to know people's opinions on letters because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so mute on all of them. Like I'm just like I
Hmm.
look at. I think the only one I don't enjoy is probably Q. I don't like Q.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, I just
I feel
don't.
like it could be used better, but like, uh, when someone just says like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you some Rex," and they end rec with Q instead of C, like, hot, honestly.
That's already halfway there for me, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sopping. How could I how could I miss the letter X? What a fun one.
God, fucking words.
Yeah, just like the way it sounds and the way it's shaped.
Oh,
It's
fuck.
really has a shape.
Oh god, the curve, the not the curves. I guess it wouldn't be technically the curves on the X.
Hmm.
Those solid like 45-degree angles, we'll call them.
No.
Fuck, I don't know numbers. I'm a theater kid.
I
Okay, we don't count.
Then what? How do you count yourself into dance, Evan?
See, that's the funny thing is that as someone who has been involved in music for like 4 years now, I still don't understand whatsoever. I just kind of feel they're like constantly. I'm taking piano lessons now, and I'm pretty sure the first thing you're gonna say to me is that you need to count your beats, you need to count your tempo, and
Yeah, bud.
I'll be like, yep, and I'll just
I'm
never.
definitely doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I
I,
know upbeats and downbeats, not just when I play the sound. One and a sure.
One, two, three,
It's a
four,
16th note. I know
five.
that.
Oh
Good
Jesus,
at counting.
Evan,
So
tell
you
me. Yeah.
so you've always been like a performer. It's just been like something you're drawn to. But is there something that made you want to do like stand-up comedy in specific?
Um, that's a good one. I think it's just I've always wanted to do stand up comedy since I got to
Mhm.
UW because I knew about you guys' club like from freshman year, but I just was busy and I was very lazy in that time. And I think post COVID, I haven't. I was terrible during COVID. I hate being unable to do things.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment I got out, I was like, I'm gonna do like every single day is gonna have classes and also like at least two special things I do in addition.
Hell
And
yeah, and we're lucky
yeah,
to have you.
no
I will also
shucks.
say, while before COVID, it's like I don't want to do a lot of things,
Mm,
but during COVID, I really realized it's like, oh, I might not want to do an event every day, but I hate not being able to do an event every day.
mm-hmm. It's a matter of like losing the choice. I think
Exactly. It's like I don't want to see people all the time, but now I know I can't any of the time.
so. It's just worse.
Mm-hmm. Just
Ah,
rotting in my house.
God, same and like Jesus Christ. I had a lot of people in my house. I have like how many siblings? I have six. So and my parents are together, and I had technically I had a captive audience, right? But they've mastered over the years the technique of like tuning me out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I get that. I was an only child. Well, that
Ooh.
implies that I'm not anymore. I am an only child, which means that but I'm very talkative. I'm very chatty,
Hell
which
yeah.
means that I would just get like put places and just go,
Just sit down and you just go off.
just talking,
God,
just talking.
God, I get that so much. The
I
issue.
taught everyone in my house a lot about ancient Egypt
Oh
and
hell yeah.
birds, a lot about like how circle math works when I was like in third, just talking,
Just anything. Wow.
just talking.
You got that classic autistic kid trait of info dumping down.
Yeah, no, yes.
God,
Yeah.
another person to add on to my on the spectrum question mark. Go Google Doc.
It's definitely one of those where like people in my life have been like,
Maybe.
you know a lot about the FDA and you really like telling me about the FDA. Once again, I'm going to say it, the Food and Drug Administration. So
So
interesting. Please learn about thalidomide, everyone. But
thalidomide.
like So I've had people be like, maybe you should get screened for
Just
ADHD. I'm like,
maybe.
yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be wonderful, but also,
Yeah, I live under the fear of being like, you're a girl and you graduated high school. You don't have
exactly.
it, which has
Exactly.
happened.
God, healthcare. Disgusting.
Yeah. As a fat girl who's always been a fat girl, I haven't had the greatest time with
Mm-hmm.
doctors in my life.
That is very understandable. Doctors, they give me the willies occasionally.
Yeah. I think that my worst thing was like we had I went to a fucking performing arts middle school, which is a whole other
Oh,
thing. We didn't have gym, we had Zumba and we had yoga.
oh boy.
We had non-licensed Zumba, so it was called like physical dance.
Do you have your license to be performing this class? And they just fucking Zumba out of there.
So we'd like do warm-up runs, and every single time I would do that, I would feel like I was like choking.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Went to the doctor and like, oh, you have asthma. And so they gave me an inhaler. I'd use the inhaler and I'd just like have a full panic attack. And
oh.
like this going on for a couple of years, and then I actually got tested for like a lung fucking capacity thing. Basically, it's a
Oh.
breathalyzer test where they really want just your breath.
Okay.
And they're like, you have a bigger lung capacity. We don't know why they thought you had asthma.
Huh.
Oh, but sorry, I forgot to mention. When I went into the appointment for them, like, oh, you have asthma and you're obese. Enjoy your day, middle school girl.
Just hit it with
This
that
happened
class.
at this happened at 8:30 a.m.
Oh
Ruminate on
god.
this.
That classic 1-2 from the doctor.
Oh yeah.
God.
So it turned out like I didn't have asthma. I was just anxious and didn't want
Mm,
people to see me run. And using the inhaler, because an inhaler is just like it's a breathable steroid. It's
right.
aerosol right into your lungs. It was just giving me a panic attack.
Oh Jesus. Just
It was just
overhyping
making my
yourself.
panic attack more effective,
Wow.
more efficient.
Streamlining that
Ugh.
goddamn mental breakdown for you.
Grind every day. It's not good.
This
It's not good.
maybe they just thought like you could handle it. I mean, come on. It's like this kid's at a performing arts middle school. They'll be fine.
They need something. There's so much glitter all over your fucking math class. You need something to just like beef up your brain. I don't know.
God, they play
Oh,
Mamma Mia in the halls. They need something other than this.
oh God.
I can't imagine that. I also have asthma, so I understand. I mean, I'm even holding the inhaler right here, and I can't imagine like inversely causing problems with it. Because for me, it's always been helpful.
Yeah, but it's like Adderall, where if you have ADHD and you take Adderall, it's like, oh, I can like sit down and write a paper now.
Right.
But if you don't, you want to like gnaw through wood and like travel the seas, hike a mountain, drill right through it, straight down. I feel like that's like with an inhaler, except it's not like considered pleasurable.
Yeah, it's
It's just
just
considered like I just feel bad. Like I feel
just
fast, but I feel bad.
oh god,
I can breathe so much.
too much. You're taking in too much oxygen. I didn't know that was a bad thing.
Give
God.
it back.
Uh, God. What else is about lungs?
But I definitely relate to like always kind of being like a talkative person who wanted to
Mm,
make jokes and being like, oh, I like doing this. Let's put it in a direction where I have
right.
like people who will listen.
Yeah, a captive audience,
Oh
which
yeah.
I adore captive audience as a phrase, but I
Oh
also
yeah.
a big part of it was as I said, I've done improv, and improv
Mhm.
again, I've done improv in theater, and those improv itself is like very spontaneous and like
Mhm.
on the moment. So there's a difference between that and having a scripted thing.
Mhm.
And theater wise, you get given your script. I think what I liked about comedy, stand up specifically, was that I could like write my own stuff
Mhm.
and like have like a setup for it, and it was really
Yeah.
fun.
It's definitely like in between those where like you can have
Hmm.
moments of like spontaneity on stage, but like you know what you're doing and you know that you got to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh, I just like I'm similar to you. Like I knew about comedy club freshman year, but I didn't join until later on.
mm.
And just like I like it so much. I like being able to perform, and I like the people join comedy club.
Oh yeah, good group, good group. I think
Good group.
it's really fun. I think there are some people who I think I vibe with just generally as people, and
Mhm,
then there are also some people. The neat part about comedy club is that you can learn so much from someone from their routines.
mhm.
Like I think it was. Am I allowed to say other people's names on this?
In positive context, yes.
Okay, okay, and that's entirely fine. Katie, when she
Yeah.
first came, I was like, this person seems vaguely familiar to me, and I eventually found out we met each other freshman year before she got like comfortable being a person, and like,
I feel that. I
oh, 100
understand
percent,
that.
so real. But it was the part where I was like, I have to speak to this person. I believe it was she's like, I like to date nerdy guys, like have the same hobbies as me, so I have something to talk about when I'm rimming them. I'm like, it was just
So fu-
it's so good, and she just got it off the head, and I was like, I need to speak to her. We need to be friends.
No, that's how I felt about Bean when she first showed up at Comedy Club. It's just like
Ooh,
I need to vibe with you immediately.
the lore of Bean.
Let's hang.
Who else was there? Who I forget what was his name. It wasn't Simone. It was someone before Simone. The one with the carnival, the fair with the churro.
Alex.
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 Alex is also was just a vibe. But before
Uh,
that, great people, and it's interesting as well when you socialize with people whose routines you're not like they're not your vibe
mm-hmm.
entirely. Like, oh, I can't even think of anyone whose vibe isn't entirely mine. But like people who it's not your targeted brand of humor, but they're
Yeah.
still like cool people.
And they're just like there's so many different types of comedy and you never really like I've seen people go on stage at Comedy Club and perform things that like literally I would never think of. Like Nick.
Mm. Oh, Nick.
Nick does things that like I would never even consider doing.
Ooh.
And it's just like it's completely out there, but it's so fucking funny.
There's something I think there's something it's just the absurdity or like the novelty of like you not doing it that makes it even better. Like, oh my
Yes.
god. Like I
Yeah.
like holy fuck, they went there. And I
And
adore that.
oh yeah, and it's just like it's the collection of people who like I don't know, I feel like stand-up comedy draws a certain type of person, someone who like specifically wants to be funny and I think I once described it as like it's a club of all the people who wouldn't stop talking when the teacher is talking,
Mhm.
which is
uh,
something I still do. Oops.
ooh.
Like it's just the collection of everyone in that group
Mm,
just coming together. And
put
like
them
it'd be
all.
fun. It's fun.
You put them all in a room and they just kind of talk at each other.
Oh
And
yeah.
it works somehow.
Works sometimes. So
Sometimes.
when I first joined Comedy Club, there definitely was like I had this weird pressure about like everything I say out loud has to be the funniest thing in the world or else they will kick me
Oh.
out. And it wasn't and they didn't.
Oh, that's always nice at least, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I can't. That's such a high standard for them. Like, because I think I could talk on the first experience of coming in. Because I definitely was like, the first time I came in, I was like, okay, this is chill. Like, I don't think I had any like, I mean, for God's sakes, my first routine, I was like, I'm a very like, I mean, I think my routines are really crude and really
Mhm.
fun and raunchy or
Oh yeah.
like controversial, but I'm not really that kind of person. Like,
Mhm.
I'm a pretty chill dude. I'm soft spoken. I don't
Mhm.
really. Some people would. I think some professors think I'm like the sweetest kid because I'm just really. I say sir and ma'am automatically, and I like sometimes bring in chocolate for some of my professors. I'm like, oh, here
Oh,
you go. Just want to thank you for like and then
cute.
lo and behold, you cut to me in comedy club talking about like my sugar mommy problems and how like I'm absolutely fine with them like pegging me. I just don't know if I'm ready for the commitment.
Peak pegability. Yeah.
Peak.
But no, I totally get that. I'm working on a set right now where it's like I have what I get to call like terminal babysitter face.
Oh.
Like I look like I should either be running a summer camp or going to summer camp. I've just got like people look at me, they're like, I trust you to watch my kid and feed them a healthy dinner.
Oh.
I just got like I make a really good oatmeal face. So no one suspects me to be as horny as I am constantly.
that
Never. It comes out of nowhere. They're
no one
never
ever
ready for it.
no one ever suspects it really.
No.
I think from yeah. I mean I don't need I don't suspect that at all when I see you because you seem like a really just kind of like oh yeah person.
Yeah.
I'm a really cool one. I'm like really nurturing to other people and friendly.
Yeah, you don't look at my face and you go, she knows a lot about. You don't look at my face and you go, like, she's bought dildos for several of her friends because she knew they would like them. I had personal emails to this Dutch guy who makes like
Oh
custom
my
dildos.
god, the best friend.
I had a personal conversation with him because he wanted to make sure my friend got hers. And I'm
Oh,
giving them a gift.
oh, that's something you can't like. Ah, that
Yeah.
is some true broship.
This is not the face of someone like, she's done a lot of research about lube, and I have.
Like a whole Wikipedia article, and then
Yeah.
going specifically not even the Wikipedia article. You're going down to the references. You're digging
Yeah.
deep.
I'm doing the scientific research. I know what's safe and what's hot.
God, it's right in my ears.
People don't think about the previous step of info dumping, which is just info gathering.
Oh yeah, that constant like
Yeah.
feed me this information.
Where it's like, oh, I woke up on the YouTube or not the YouTube page. I woke up on like the Wikipedia page for like radiotrophic fungus, and now I know a lot about mushrooms, and specifically ones that like grow after feeding off Chernobyl energy.
Hell yeah, the best. Oh god, Chernobyl. I
This
want
is
to go
all
there.
for me. It's all in my brain. It's
Ah,
just for me.
that sounds like a vaguely useful version of mine because mine is like so like I mean technically it's a very niche information, but it's
Hmm.
information. For me, I tend to like randomly go off on different like shows from my childhood or like musicals still like again
Hmm.
musicals like I think I have looked at the Yu-Gi-Oh wiki more times than someone my age probably should.
Oh yeah.
Just it just happens.
Oh yeah. Don't let me tell the radio audience and think that like, oh my god, I know so much about like horny things and science topics. I also know a lot about Batman.
Oh fuck yeah, that
I
man.
also know just so much about DC Comics because that was another thing where like
Mm.
as a child I'm like, do you want to hear all the Robins in a row and all their backstories? No, here I go
Well,
anyways.
you better get ready for Tim Drake, okay?
Hold on. This is a weird one. Uh, Comic-Con is December 4th, and I am
Ooh,
excited.
is it? I was gonna go to
Yes.
that with someone, but then I burned that bridge specifically. I I burned that. That was like because we went to PAX together. It was a friend of
Mm,
mine. I'm not gonna say anything beyond him,
yeah.
because stuff happened, and I think I surprised my friend group with that because I integrated
Mm.
him to my other friend group with the improv people, and like
Uh,
something happened, and then I would literally just went to people and like my friends and was like, we need to get rid of him entirely. And so
yeah.
I just robbed him of the only like group he had because he specifically did something. I was like, I told you not to do that, and
Yeah.
now 6 years gone. Bye.
Well, that's like if yeah, there are just some things where it's like specifically if you do this, no one will want to hang out with you,
Yeah, you're a
and it
douche.
happens. Yeah.
A
Sometimes
Comic Con.
sometimes like I don't know, removing someone from your life is not always a negative thing. Sometimes
Oh
you just
God,
need
no.
to take them out of your life.
Like I don't even view it as a negative thing in general. I
Mhm.
think, but I think for me as a person, I kind of have this not tendency, but affinity towards burning bridges for some reason.
Ah,
Like I'm very comfortable like cutting people out of my life entirely, regardless of how long they've been there. Which
gotcha.
I kind of dealt with that early on when I was like, I don't really like my attachments to people are weird and easy for me to break off, and I kind of feel
Mm,
bad about that. But I've learned to live with it and enjoy the ones I have.
yeah,
But yeah, that was
yeah,
Comic Con. One just tangent off into like, oh man, I don't
oh
form
yeah.
earthly attachments well. Anyway, Damian Wayne, what a character.
Uh, my favorite little awful man.
God, I honestly like. I'm a decently big DC fan. Like not the
Mm.
movies. I read the comics a lot, but not as often. I've been recently following the webtoons they made.
I've been seeing like
It's
screenshots of those, and they look
it's
great.
pretty good. Like it's pretty
Oh,
just that classic Bruce Wayne family vibe, and it's just really well drawn and like fun.
it's just good food.
It
Because
is.
I've been trying to like get more of my friends into comics, and specifically telling them like, okay, how you read comics is there's good bits here, and there's a lot of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, one time they did make Jason Todd into like a clay face monster thing with tentacles who was dressing up as Nightwing and running around New York and like killing people. Yes, that did happen, sure. And we just all decided collectively to say it didn't and to move on.
We'll just pretend.
Like, yeah, sometimes Bruce punches his kids in the face a lot. And
Yeah.
we all decide to like not think about that. Just move past it.
That's why I'm not a big fan of canon. I'm a big
big fan of whatever I want. What's canon is what I like.
God, I wish life was like that.
I know.
Look, God, I would get rid of NFTs so fast.
Kill the nifty.
I'm tired of them. I'm so tired.
I'm tired.
I just, God, it's kind of funny. It was funny for the first 2-3 months, but I'm just so. Jimmy Fallon bought one, and I just want to kill him.
It's I already want to kill Jimmy Fallon. This is just another good reason for it. It's just like another like, oh, everything's a grift now. We're never free.
We are never free.
Yeah. All right, when we get back, don't change that dial, because when we get back, we're going to be talking about musicals, theater, comedy in the self, and needing to go home with yourself at the end of the day. Stay tuned.
It's a Sunday night and you're at home all alone. Last night was great, it was our very first date, so now it's time to pull out my phone. I'm gonna tell you something real quick, it ain't gonna be a deep pic, no. Romance needs clarity, but baby, that don't work for me. I'm sending I send the first text in a cute way, and then I don't reply for 7 fucking days, yeah. You text me one night am I free, and I reply yes. Full stop. I send you a little smiley face, so you send me back a little smiley face, and then I say hey, and so you write back hey, and I say hey what, and you said hey first, and I say okay. Croissant emoji. Fuck you. 1 second I say you're very pretty, and then I show up at your house and I kick you down, yeah. I pay for the dog's veterinary bills, but then I punch your dad in the dick, ha 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 ha. Now we're going to a hospital, just me, you and your dad in the back of an ambulance. And even with your dad's broken dick, the air is thick with
sexual tension.
I'm really sorry for punching your dad in the dick, I won't do it again. You make me shake his hands and promise, but as I do I ball up my other fist and I punch your dad in the dick again. I punch your dad in his broken dick again. You think I'm sexy? I'm being mysterious, sending you these mixed messages. You say, stop punching my dad's dick. I say, okay, but then I wink. So you grab both of my hands quick, stopping my third attempt to punch your dad's dick. Oh baby, you played this game before. Too bad, I played a little bit more. You got both my hands, so I used my head. I headbutt your dad's pants in the back of an ambulance. And between the headbutts, our eyes lock as we're holding hands, and we can't help but kiss over your dad's not once, twice, thrice broken dick. I say I love you in a cute way, and then I punch your dad's dick every day. Tell your dad that I'm sorry, but then punch him in his dick again.
And we're back. That was Mixed Messages by Tom Cardy, an Australian. He's a lot of fun.
Is that the one? It is that one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he's Australian.
Yes, he's a lot of fun. Go check him out on YouTube or TikTok.
So good.
Evan, you mentioned you were a theater kid.
Oh, I am.
Theater. I wanted to be a theater kid, which is way worse than actually being one.
A poser.
Yes, exactly, 100%. Because a lot of my friends were in pit band.
Oh, that does fit.
And it looked fun, and they always had the best gossip.
Ooh, you bet we did. Either theater kid, well, the band kids typically had better ones than us, but we had our own. But yes, I am a disgusting theater kid. If you ever meet me and look at me, you can tell immediately. I have like 3 pieces of merch on me at all times. I cuff my jeans, which could just be an indicator that I'm bisexual, but it could be
And
for both.
inside the cuff, you have a playbill for Mean Girls.
Oh, you bet I do. Actually, I'm actually gonna go see that this Saturday. Actually, so new idea. But yes, I am a theater kid, specifically a musical theater kid. I like plays a lot. I'm loving them. Getting into
Mhm.
Shakespeare recently, but musical theater is where my heart lives.
No, I feel that. There's definitely something of both, but like
Hmm.
I've always been and I like songs. I like songs that are like pertinent to a plot.
Hmm.
Specifically like I don't know, whenever it'd be in a TV show and they're singing in it, I'm fucking into that.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
do you know Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
Yes, I have someone recommended to me, but I never watched it.
It's a lot of fun.
I
It's
should.
basically a musical TV show,
There has been more of
but
those
it's
recently.
not Glee and it's great.
Yeah, thank God. Oh, fuck Lee.
Thank God. Yes. So you're a musical theater kid.
Hello.
Hit me with your spicy opinions. I want to hear them
Ah,
because everyone I've ever met in theater has incredibly strong opinions. And like my roommate Alexi has incredibly strong opinions on theater. They did tech for a long time.
they have to have
Oh yeah.
opinions.
And I've had a lot of great times just listening to them go off on like people,
Mm.
concepts, ideas. One time I got high on a marijuana edible. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go in the kitchen, like get some food, lay myself down, start thinking about space and rope and radiotropic fungus.
Fun
And then they're
times.
like, oh, let's talk about it. They noticed I was getting high, and I told them, like, oh, just so you know, like, I'm high on a marijuana edible. And they're like, okay. Do you want to learn a lot about Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812? And I'm like, sure.
I need to meet your roommate now.
So they were just like, basically, I was like in space, just fully laying down on my bed. And they're like, now here's a cast performance. And you can see how they actually built the stage into the
Yes.
seating. So the characters like moving around the stage. I'm like,
Oh,
that's great.
I need.
Just a lot of
Oh,
fun.
I need to. I don't. I need to give your roommate a kiss. Oh my god! Anytime I find someone who understands, like, okay, these are my hot takes. Which the first one, of course, is going to be Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812, 2016 on Broadway, is the best musical of all times, and I will
It's
not
really
stand.
good. Please explain what it is for people who don't know.
So Natasha Pierre, the Great Comet, 1812, is a pop electro pop Russian folk opera by Dave Malloy, and it is taking a segment of the Leo Tolstoy book War and Peace and putting it into a musical. Specifically, I believe I can't remember what part it is, but it's a early part in it. And it's this wonderful, confusing, beautiful, and like just powerful piece of theater that you take. It's interesting. It's basically, to give the quick summarized version of it as fast as I can.
Oh,
Natasha is engaged to a man named Andre, who is off to the war against Napoleon. She is sent to Moscow with her cousin Sonia to be watched under by their godmother Maria Dmitri. While she is there, she is basically seduced by a man named Anatole, who is really known for this. He's kind of a punk and he's kind of a slut. Um, and so it's all basically about her debauchery and like being taken under, and like coinciding with that is the story of Pierre, who is this depressed Russian like higher man who is really depressed about life and he wishes he could be more, and he's slowly like learning that he's okay, and he almost gets killed in the middle of the show, and he lives, and it's existential crisis, and he kind of at the end doesn't realize that Natasha is the one Anatole is seducing, because Anatole is his brother-in-law, because he's married to Helene, who's cheating on him with Dolokhov. You see where this is going. It's very confusing.
The opening number is called
Mm-hmm.
prologue, and it's literally explaining all of the characters like over and over
Yeah.
again, so people know who the characters are. And if you listen to any song and you want to get into the musical, listen to the prologue first.
Exactly. Prologue it was made after the first couple shows, because Dave Malloy actually
Mhm.
played Pierre in his first bits of it, and someone came up to him and was like, "Man, all the names are so confusing. I wish like the writers would have something for us."
Mhm.
And Dave Malloy's sitting there like the writer of this entire show, like, mm-hmm, okay, mm-hmm. So he just shoved.
Mhm.
It literally is. It's kind of built like The that old children's book. I saw an old lady swallow a fly. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
where it just like
It's
repeats several lines over again, and it's really effective at both telling you who the
mm-hmm.
characters are and a fucking banger.
It's such a bang. I need to finish learning it on piano.
Oh,
But anyway, the musical's theme, which I love the most, is the idea that people are never done growing and that you can choose whenever in time in life to like take a new path and continue on. And God, this musical like owns me in a way. I've listened to it for 2 years now, and I
mhm.
think every time I listen to prologue or any song in this show, I listen to all of them. Anytime I play it on piano, I always get the same chills like the first time.
It's just really, really, really good.
Go listen
Just
to
so
it.
good.
If you listen to any Broadway musical, please listen to Great Comet.
Hmm.
But I can't keep my peg leg on Great Comet. I love Great Comet, but I talk about it a lot, so I have other opinions.
hit
um,
hit me.
so Jesus Christ Superstar, weird but good.
Okay. I'm gonna give my because I'm tangentially theater. Tangentially. Jesus Christ Superstar is a Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. Andrew
Mhm.
Lloyd Webber also wrote Cats and Starlight Express. Yes.
Hell yeah. Yep.
Starlight Express and The Phantom of the Opera.
Yep.
So this is a musical in Cats fashion, Cats bigness, about Jesus.
Yes, it's pretty close. I will say, unlike Cats, which is a review, and Cats is weird. Cats is fucking weird. I love Cats,
it's
but
less like here's a musical with a plot that happens. It's more like introduce you to all these cats, plot right at the end,
yeah.
done.
I think it's because they were based off poems by
Yes.
T.S. Eliot, and specifically they weren't allowed to change anything about that.
Hmm.
So, but Jesus Christ Superstar is literally the telling of Jesus's like a couple days before crucifixion, and there are a lot of different versions of it. Like if you go on
Hmm.
Spotify, there's like probably 9 different albums for
Hmm.
these shows, and I have recently been watching the 2000s version of it, which is this really weird movie version done. It is so fucking weird. It's like the actors are over the top. The guy playing Judas can't sing up there, and the guy who played
Yeah.
Jesus was a part of a cult that believed that Jesus was an alien.
Which one?
I can't remember. I can Google it real
Ugh.
quick, but it was something. And every time I keep watching it, and every time I do, I'm like, God, they kind of like this was really good because
Mhm.
again, like the music itself is a fucking banger. Like it's
Oh
just
yeah.
so fun. Oh, it's the Raelian movement. Is he was a leader of the UK branch of Raelian
Oh,
movement since 2002, and according to Raelian doctrine, humans were created by extraterrestrials.
got it. Okay, so one of those, not Scientology, like diet
Yeah,
Kirkland brand Scientology a little bit.
your store brand like cult, you know. Not you're not gonna get
Good and
Jonestown.
gather.
You find this at like fucking Fred Meyer's. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Huh,
Raelian movement. We can try this. This looks good.
this looks
But
fine.
but any Jesus Christ Superstar, I feel like is really fun to listen to because I'm not a religious person at all. I'm an
Mhm.
agnostic boy, and I didn't really know the tale of Jesus beyond like the Judas betrayed him
Mhm.
and got crucified. But there's like details in this that adds a lot that I'm like, oh, I now know they spent the evening in the Garden of Gethsemane, which is a
Yeah.
song. They even named a song he sings to about his poor like peril there, and oh, Pontiff Pilates is there, and then the Romans and Caesar, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
So I know bits and details. It's a weird show, but I like it's just fun.
Yeah. And like I'm always a big fan of like I love weird shit and it's
Hmm.
happened multiple times if someone's like this thing's crazy, Bella will like it. Whether
Ooh.
it's like I like weird food, I will die on the hill that is the avocado bubble tea. I swear by it. It's
That's
so good. No one believes me. It's so good.
you know what? I don't like avocado or bubble tea, but I will try it.
Thank you, king of my
Yeah.
heart.
Nah, I've been trying to eat more.
Gentle
But if
kiss on the forehead. But like
ah, mm,
no one I love like I feel like the worst thing that a piece of art can be, a piece of media can be, is boring. So
mm-hmm,
if it's weird and it tries something new, and even if it doesn't like really do it that well,
you're happy,
exactly, because it's interesting at least. It's
right?
interesting to like talk about and think about and like hold and like twist in your
Right.
hands, you know?
I'm going to need to send you Ghost Quartet after
Yes.
because
Yes.
that's another Dave Malloy thing, and it's if you listen to it all the way, which I'd be very appreciative, I will need to send you the flow chart of all the songs and characters and what the fuck this is about. Because if you listen to it, the intention of it is that there's actually a recording of them doing it live, and it's like HD, but even listening to music, it's like you feel it out first, and then you try to understand the story.
Oh yeah,
And
that's how musical theater works best. And King, if it's like a time issue thing, I'm going to refer to you again. I read a lot of DC comics. I've read a lot of Crises. Sometimes a Superboy from a different planet just punches a hole in the universe, and a bunch of people die or come back to life, and it just happens.
You just let that happen, but when you make him buy, that's the problem.
Oh, that's the problem.
That's
one he can punch a hole in the universe, but
causing massive genocide. But bisexual, that's unrealistic.
You can just rip someone's head off, real cash.
But you can't kiss a man and a woman.
Kiss a boy. No, but I don't get that yet.
God, in the Bible it said it was Adam and Eve, not Adam or Eve.
I like that. Sorry to take this over, but do you know the characters Midnighter and Apollo?
Isn't that the gay Batman and Superman, basically, from another universe?
Yes. Let me info dump for a quick second. So, DC did a thing where they just kept buying like smaller comic book companies who would have their own superheroes and integrate them into their universe, right? And one comic book company basically made their own version of Batman and Superman, Midnighter and Apollo, but they were married.
Hell yeah.
And when they enfolded them in, like, they became they're just so great. And like, it feels like one of the few times that DC is like, yes, these two men do a lot of good murder, but also they really do love each other. Like, there was a 6-issue run about like it's so funny. It's this demon with like 6 arms, and each of them is holding like a Western pistol. And the demon has a cowboy hat on because he's the Lord of the Gun. Because there's this like cursed Winchester rifle that can kill anything and send it directly to hell.
Wow.
I love comic books. Kills Apollo and sends him to hell. So Midnighter goes and fights through the entirety of it just to get to his husband. And it's so good, and it's so out there, and just like, I
need to read this.
Things are good, people. They're good. That's what I mean when it's like there's good stuff, and then there's a lot of garbo. You gotta sift through it. You'll get there.
You gotta find the good bits and pieces.
You gotta find it.
God, I need to read that now. That sounds great.
I have it. I will give it to you, King, to borrow.
Yes.
To borrow.
Of course, I will not take your stuff.
Thank you. But yeah. Do you have any musicals you don't like?
That's a good one. Well, I fucking hate Mamma Mia.
Hold on.
Listen, you weren't there for this. We had a whole before comedy club discussion where I led an entire debate with one person, and listen, it wasn't fair because I have a lot more expertise on this. I've literally done research into Mamma Mia, its musical score, the writing, the construction of it, just to specifically find the reasons why it's not good.
You've done the math.
I've done the math. So my base comparison is the other musical that ABBA's written, which is Chess the Musical.
Oh, no. I know ABBA didn't write that. They may have written it with someone, but Chess the Musical went through like 4 different...
Oh, no, 38.
So many books.
Yes, but it's so good.
The thing I know about Chess the Musical, again from Alexi, is that I heard the song One Night in Bangkok in a gift shop in like... Cannon Beach, and it was so good that I just need it in my body all the time.
It's a good one.
One Night in Bangkok is now like the pillar song in a playlist I have called The Flavor, both capitalized. Because it's just like, please take yourself, listen to One Night in Bangkok. It's a good one. So hard.
I need to. Okay.
So right.
Another song I need to send you now is "Bring On the Men," sung by Josh Young.
Yeah, it's so good.
You will
so good.
Okay, but again, Mamma Mia, trash. I stand by this. As someone who has auditioned twice for this show, who has read the score 4 times, and who has spent time looking into the notes and specifically the chord progressions, the writing, the character uses, the ranges, and the interpretations of it, I stand by that a musical that has failed both on the stage and as a film. Okay,
hold on.
I will stand by.
Mamma Mia, the film, is a great time. It's a great, let's get wine drunk and watch Meryl Streep really swing that scarf around on a hillside. Let Pierce Brosnan sing. Colin Firth is having a great time.
Okay. I'm nodding. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's fun. Here's the thing. I think it's fun. Do I know if it's good? No, but I know I like it.
Yeah.
Although Mamma Mia, Here She Goes Again, divorced. I'm divorced from
it. So in theme. But like, okay, so you're allowed to like bad things. That is of my strong opinion. You're allowed to like shitty things, but I will stand by the logic that these things are still bad and they require the acknowledgement that they are. Like, I like Jesus Christ Superstar 2000. Objectively terrible. It's not good. That version of the Jesus Christ Superstar is not good, but I love it. Like Mamma Mia to me just fails.
Okay. You sound like someone who's never seen a high school production of Xanadu, and you don't know how good you have it.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but like, I feel like I don't need to go through literal death to understand I'm not like I don't need to be murdered to know that getting stabbed sucks. You know?
Yeah, it's fucking Xanadu. Oh my god,
Xanadu.
Xanadu is the less popular roller skating musical. That was a thing.
Oh, I love the line of roller skates.
My gut says the 80s, the same era where everything's on ice. It's also like they're gonna sing on roller skates.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
God, so much power.
Why? What did ABBA do to you?
Well, one, jukebox musicals. Jukebox musicals, I don't mind. The issue I find with jukebox musicals is when the songs are pre-written. It's like building a puzzle around pieces you already have. It just feels weird. And just the vocal choices, certain parts. Like, I enjoy some of the choices. I like an alto being the lead a lot, because the person who plays the girl, whose name I'm forgetting, she's an alto.
Seyfried?
Well, she didn't do great. She even admitted to that point. But the character itself.
Okay. I am only used to the Mamma Mia movie version.
I see what you mean. Well, that's fair. I'm going with like the book score where
gotcha. Okay.
Like some of the characters, I think there are some really fun roles. Like I auditioned for Sky. Is that the main love interest? I think
her fiance.
Yeah. Yes. I like that "Don't Go Wasting Your Emotion" song. That's really fun for the guy. That's like a fun song. I love singing that one because it goes up and it's nice. But like when she goes off, she doesn't get to go off for some reason. Like she doesn't get like being an alto doesn't mean you don't get to like have fun like sustained notes and like pops of like good notes. But
got it.
Just that's one example. I can't remember my other ones. I need to get back to my paper of Mamma Mia sucks.
I miss one day of comedy club, and I miss all of the Mamma Mia debate.
You missed the disc. Every time I haven't been able to go to comedy club for the last 2 weeks, but every time I go early, I specifically take over the whiteboard and just start talking like a maniac about whatever. I think I explained Winter's Tale once, and then I went to like Mamma Mia, and then I explained The Last 5 Years, which is also a good musical. Go listen to that, people. That's a quick tangent before anything else beyond that is that it's a musical about two people's relationship with them telling it back and forth in different ways with the Jamie not Jamie Kathy the girls telling it backwards from the end of it to the beginning and Jamie telling it from the beginning to the end.
Ooh, this sounds fun.
It's fun and sad.
I love things that are fun and sad.
Yeah, you understand. Should we move on to the identity one? I don't know how our time is looking.
We have 10 minutes. We might not want to. We can if you want, but
because like part of me likes to touch on that stuff.
Let's chat. Let's
just touch into it. You know, I guess.
I'll start. I'll lead in. That's my job as the host.
Oh my God.
You're free. You integrate a lot of your identity into your comedy, being both bisexual and Native American. You integrate that into a lot of your jokes. Mm-hmm. And like I feel that like I do the same thing because I'm a lesbian, and I also integrate the fact that like I am fat into that. And I feel like I like being able to make jokes about my identity, but you have to like negotiate how you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever I make a joke about being gay, I don't want it to read as a joke. Like the punchline is that I'm gay. And I
Right.
feel like, is that something that you struggle with, like needing to do that negotiation?
All the time. Like, to be entirely honest, I think specifically with the Native American stuff, I don't think I found a technical healthy place for
Mm-hmm.
it. For that, the issue is just that my identity as Native American is so entwined with like suffering and like
Mm-hmm.
terrible stuff. Like 80% of our history is just not great, and I almost feel like I use it sometimes. I'm very self aware with it, and I try to use it. Just like part of it's like I want people to know, but there's also like a part of me that like sees the humor in it as being like justification or like not appeasement. What is the word I'm looking for? To validate it, I think.
Mm. Like you're saying it's horrible and you're having people agree with you, or
I think so. I think it's
okay,
just because there's
to have
definitely
someone like validate that feeling.
validate it
Got it.
exactly because I've been through many different schools, so I've been looking at different. Like I've gone through many different history courses. I kind of almost gone through like the same classes 4 times,
Mm-hmm.
all of American history. So it is It is just there's just feeling of like, okay, I guess we're gonna talk. We talk about like the Civil War for 80 pages. Trail of Tears gets like a quarter of a page. It's like
Mm-hmm.
okay, and there's this the wealth of knowledge that I have, like just as being a Native American who was raised on the reservation and was really cultural with my family, I have this wealth of knowledge of things that I am like shocked people don't know sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel bad about it because it's like, well, fuck, man. So bringing them up as jokes for the shape, it's almost like a mixture of I do it for the absurdity of it because it's pretty funny
Mm-hmm.
to me when people like. I mean, you've seen were you there for my link rail experience routine?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
I was.
that one specifically banks on the sheer like um just like holy
the
fuck.
Yep, the reflections through time. Poignant.
um the absurdity of that and just the fact that I'm bringing it up puts people in the spot of like, am I
Mhm.
allowed to laugh? And that's funny to me.
Yeah, and sometimes you do comedy for you, and that's fun.
I'm a big Squirm fan,
Oh
I
yeah.
guess. Like I love that, and but I definitely know there's 100% a part of me that like sees this laughter as like some form of validation from people. Like, oh, we hear and see you, but
Mhm.
it's not fully there yet.
Yeah. I feel that too, where I'm not like fully, I don't know. I don't know how to like integrate. It's not like you're just it's not like, oh, I figured out how to do it and now I'm doing it forever and I'm good. I have it done forever. Like I have a bit I really like about like coming out as fat.
I remember that one. That was a
Yeah,
good
it's very fun. And I talk about how like you can tell how fuckable society thinks you are based on like the words used on the tags of the bras available to you.
I love that part.
Where it starts with like entice, and then it's control, and then
Ooh.
it's comfort. Like the bra saying, like, we know that you're really close to the end of your fat, fluffy, chunky, chubby, sad little life, either because you're about to find a rope that's strong enough to hang yourself, or because you're about to die from heart disease you definitely have. So we just want to make sure your last days are as comfortable as possible. And it's just like that comes from like a place, but also like it's I feel like that joke it relies on like it's not making like ha I'm pudgy, that's the joke, I like to eat, ha ha ha. It's like turning it outwards and it's like what is the punchline on? And I think there's like the two
um,
extremes are like using comedy like relying joke using jokes as stereotypes to get like easy laughs.
right.
Because I can go up there and be like, oh, I'm gonna U-Haul. Oh, I'm gonna like marry a girl after a date. Oh, I love Subarus. Oh, I love cats. Oh, I'm a mean butch. I like short hair and I hate men. Ha ha
Yeah,
ha.
it's
Or you can turn it as like comedy is self-harm. Because it'd be like, I'm a fat fucking ugly bitch. Everyone laugh with me. And they validate that feeling.
right.
Yeah. So it's finding like a place that's not those.
And that's kind of, I guess, the difficult part of it for a lot of things. Because arguably, there is nothing funny about being Native American. Like there are some bits of it you could like. I don't know, Pocahontas is funny, but then anytime you go into any kind of humor as Native American history, you do any sense of digging, you're like, oh, this is fucked up. Oh God, like I mean, any aspect, like fried bread, everyone knows what fried bread is. Very simple. You fry bread, it's like, oh, this is like a cool Native American dish, and then you like literally do one Wikipedia search. It's like, oh, it's because the flour they were given on reservation had toxic chemicals in it, and they need to fry it out. Oh, so for me, I want to find that comfortable space of like not having to like feel this validation or need it, but it's almost impossible in a way, which is kind of why I actually want to do a not a routine, but like a whole stand-up act on the comforts of comedy that eventually loops into like the not irony or hypocrisy, but like the shame that should be coming with that.
The shame of like being comfortable or needing validation or
needing like comedy to like comfort yourself sometimes. Like, I think
this goes again, I think, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, fine.
I think this loops back to like the concept of like a captive audience. Of like, I also feel that, so outside of like comedy, I'm someone where like, I will just sometimes ask my roommates like, hey, are you mad at me? For no reason, because I fully, deeply feel that like something's wrong and they're mad at me. And I don't know how to like not feel like something's wrong if they don't tell me. And I'm fully aware that like, this is not something I should rely on. Like I shouldn't like put the need to validate where it's like, yes, it's okay, you're okay, everything's okay. I shouldn't like put that on other people. And it's like something I'm working on, but like sometimes is that like the kind of like I feel shame around needing to do that and looping into like that's kind of having a captive audience to like validate that.
Right. God, comedy gets deep sometimes.
Yeah, it's but it doesn't always have to be. So I always feel like whenever I talk like this and I'm like, comedy matters, it means things, it does things. People are like, well, you made a joke about how like your music taste is bad and confusing, like Footprints on the Moon. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that was important and meaningful. It doesn't mean nothing is.
It's not profound, but like doesn't mean everything else I say is invalidated by that.
Exactly.
Like, which is, I honestly kind of am tempted to add like bits and pieces of like pure comedy bits, like my sugar mommy thing. I think I could add into that because the routine would basically be revolving around a lot of uncomfortable topics and comedy. And then at the end, I'd be like, you're not going to think about any of this. Kind of like a weird 1-2 of like, I'm giving them like controversial things, but then I'm making them comfortable. And then I get mad at them for being comfortable.
Oh yeah. That would definitely take.
I think the line I have
contracting.
It's like do what this routine lets you do with everything, like any news you don't like global warming, racism, sexism, just make a joke about it and feel better.
That's definitely like strong squirm comedy, but it's
it's hard. It's like Kenneth Pinion again. Like I have to entice them to me immediately, or else I feel like some comics are really good at doing that, and like they're able to go places you typically can't go because the audience loves them already and they're comfortable going there.
And that's just like practice. That's like a lot of comedy is like pulling it off an audience, because writing it and doing it to yourself is like you can only see how far it goes. Like I'm of the opinion that like I don't think any topic is off limits for comedy, but I think it depends on a couple things. Who's making the joke, who's the joke aimed at, and why are they making it?
Right.
Like if you're gonna make jokes about like harder topics, you need to go in with attention, or you're just gonna end up being like, haha, isn't racism funny? Later. Like
God, middle
like
school kids.
You either go in with an intention or you end up having an effect you didn't intend.
Yeah. God, comedy. Yeah. I love comedy for these reasons. Like, God, it's hard to like get it all figured out and like set up well, but God, the process of it and the ideas of what it can do is just, I think that's also another reason why I fucking love comedy.
Oh yeah. And I'm going to say it, being able to pull it off, to like have strangers specifically laugh at things you came up with your brain. It's amazing. It's like an incredible feeling. Just knowing like, I did this.
Such a good serotonin boost. Like, yes, feed me.
Need it in my brain.
God, I can't get this normally. I need this from Comedy Club. That's why you should go to Comedy Club, people, at Savory Hall, room 136, every Wednesday at 6:30.
Every Wednesday at 6:30. Our next comedy show is December 4th.
Oh.
Address to be released. We're going to do it like a fucking Supreme drop.
Oh, hell yeah. December 4th. Fuck. Oh, God, I have so many things that weekend.
I know. Same here. But speaking of plugs, thank you all for listening to UW Comedy Hour. Tune in next week at 9 a.m. where I'll absolutely be mangling that subscribe button with our own internet star, Akash.
Woo.
Make sure to follow Rainy Dawg on Instagram at Rainy DAWG for more great radio. Follow at UW Comedy Club on Instagram for show schedules, meeting info, and more. UW Comedy Club has meetings in Savory Hall, room 136, every Wednesday at 6:30, where there is no experience needed to have a good time. Keep listening to Rainy Dawg Radio to hear a cell phone being dropped into every single puddle on the street.
Fuck.